In this video, I'd like to introduce you to the basic concepts for building mobile applications with Alpha 5. So we've done extensive work in version 12 to enable you to build applications that run on mobile devices, that's both phones and tablets. And the work that we've done is all centered around what used to be called the dialog component and is now the UX builder. So let's start out by creating a really simple hello world type application. So we'll go over to our controls and we'll add in, say, a static text control, and we'll go over here and say hello. So the first point that you need to know about when you build a mobile application is that all of your controls are displayed inside panels. So the UX builder has been enhanced with a new category here called panels, and there are three different types of panels. There's panel cards, panel navigators, and panel layouts, and we'll talk about all of them in this video. But the most important point that you need to understand is that all of the controls that you see on the screen in a mobile application are contained in panels. So everything that you do must be contained inside a panel card, and then panel cards themselves can be included inside panel navigators and panel layouts. All of this will become much clearer as we demonstrate this. So let's basically take this text control and wrap it in a panel card, and now turn on mobile preview and switch over to working preview mode now, and we can see our little simulator. Let's switch to the iPhone mode. So we can see a little simulator here showing our mobile application, and when we switch from, say, iPhone vertical to iPhone horizontal, we can see that our application looks like that. So now let's go back to our design and specify that this panel has a header. So we'll go over there and we'll specify that there's a panel header, and then we'll also specify that there's a panel footer. So now we've added a panel header and a panel footer, and then let's go into the panel header here and put some text. So we'll go over to other controls, and then we'll go to static text. We'll turn off the line break, and we'll go here and we'll just say something like my first iPhone app, and then we'll go to the panel header over there, and we'll center that text. And now when we go to working preview, you can see there's my first iPhone app, and then hello world is underneath that over there. So let's go back now and continue to work on our little application. So next, let's go here and add a couple of controls to our panel card. So we'll go here to data controls, and we'll choose, say, some text boxes. Let's go here and type in, say, first name, last name, etc. And then what we'd like to do, and you can see now that when we go to preview mode, that these first name and last name controls don't fill the screen, which would be typical in a mobile application, especially a phone application. So let's go back now and select both first name and last name, and then click on the little % button and choose 100%. So now when we go to working preview, we can see that first name and last name are going to fill the screen, and then when we switch now to, say, vertical mode, they just resize automatically. If we go to iPad vertical, we can see again everything has resized automatically because the size is now set to 100%. So let's pause now and pick this up in the next video. So we're continuing our discussion of building mobile apps in Alpha 5, and we're going to go back to the builder now. And at this point, we've got just one card in our application, just one panel card. But an application can have many cards in it, and let's go now and add a second card to our app. So we'll just right click here and say add another panel card, and then let's go into this panel card and put some controls. So we'll go here and we'll type in, say, address, city, and state, which we'll keep on the same line. So now we've added address, city and state, and we'd like address to be 100%, and we'd like city and state to each be let's say 50%. So now we've got two panel cards, but when we go to working preview again, we still only see the first card, because there's no way currently to get to the second card. So the way in which you move from one card to the next card would be obviously by using something called a panel navigator. So let's go back to panels now and take both of these cards, everything from there to there, and wrap them in a panel navigator. So we now have the cards wrapped in a panel navigator, and if you see here, you can see it says carousel, because that's one of the methods that we have for moving from one card to another in a panel navigator. You can also set the method to be programmatic, in which case you're going to write your own JavaScript to do it, or a tab band, in which case you'll have little tab buttons that move you from one panel to another panel. But we're going to keep it right now as carousel, and we've also basically turned off loop navigation, which means that in the carousel, when we get to the last panel and you try to go past the last panel, it's just going to bounce back to the panel that you are currently viewing. And then let's just, before we go into preview mode, let's go here and turn on a header for this panel card as well. So now we're going to go over to working preview, and we can see our first card. But now if we use a swipe action on the mobile device, you can see we're going to bring the second panel into view. So we go back there and the first panel, and we go back there and we get to see the second panel. So now we basically have an app with two panels in it, and of course we can keep on adding more and more panels to the application. So let's pause now and pick it up in the next video, where we'll discuss the difference between a panel navigator and a panel layout. So in the previous video we showed how the two panel cards that we currently have can be wrapped in a panel navigator, and then you can move from one panel to the other panel by dragging with your finger on the mobile device. But if we were to go now and change the panel navigator here to be a panel layout, which we're going to do right now. So now we've converted it into a panel layout. Then what we're going to do is we're actually going to see both panels at the same time, because the panel layout is a way of displaying multiple panel cards on the screen at the same time. So right now when we go into working preview, we see the first panel card over there, and then we see the second panel card over there to the right of it. And the reason that we see it on the right is that the panel layout contains other panels, and these other panels are either flowed from left to right, you can see there it says LTR, or they flowed from right to left, or top to bottom, or bottom to top. So what we mean by flowed is that this panel layout is going to display the navigators and cards that are inside it, and it's going to display them one after the other, either going in a top to bottom, or bottom to top, or left to right, or right to left direction. So let's now go and take this from left to right to be, say, top to bottom. So now when we go to working preview now, we can see there's our first panel card over there, and there's our second panel card over there. So now we're actually seeing two panel cards on the screen at the same time. But panels, panel navigators, and panel cards are all completely nestable. So I could now go, for example, and add another panel card above this, wrap that panel card and this panel layout in a navigator, and then move from the panel card to the panel navigator. So let's try and demonstrate that right now. So let's go there and add a panel card before. So now we have a panel card that's empty right now. Let's go now and just add some controls to it. So we'll just go, let's just simply go and add some buttons to it. So we'll just go and add a couple buttons over there. And then we'll wrap this now in a panel navigator. And now we'll switch to working preview. So we see our two buttons, and now when we drag over here, we're pulling into view the entire panel layout, which contains two panel cards. So what we've tried to show in this first video here is how the UI elements of your application are all placed inside panel cards, and then the panel cards themselves can be placed inside panel navigators and panel layouts. But the important point to realize is that with the addition of these three new concepts, panel cards, panel layouts, and panel navigators, to the UX Builder, we've now enabled you to take all of the expertise that you have in working with the former dialog builder and extending your expertise now to building rich mobile applications. Now in subsequent videos we're going to show a lot more of this, but in these early videos here we've just given you a quick taste of how a mobile interface is built using the new UX dialog, the new UX component builder features in version 12. Thanks very much for watching.